So first off, there's a belief you must adopt, which is that there's actually a strategic order to scale your business. So I want to share this personal story. I built this bookshelf in my office and was putting in all these screws at the back ends of the bookshelf. It took me 25 minutes to put in all these screws, and I finally had this realization. I was like, oh my goodness, I think I just put everything on the wrong side. I just wasted all my time. I now had to unscrew everything and then screw it back on the other side. So I was frustrated, and I've never touched it again. I tell you this story because how often do we do the same thing in our companies when we're spending months improving our onboarding, and yet we find out, that's not actually the issue. Maybe it's a problem with our offer. Maybe that's not clear. And so we waste all this time and countless energy focusing on the wrong problem, the wrong time. For phase 3, this is all about how do you actually get focused and start growing faster and scale up your go-to-market motion. Now, in order to do that, you must focus on the first component here, which is all about actionable data. And the reason it's called actionable data is because it's about, can your team actually use this? Most companies have complex scorecards. They're tracking way too many metrics. What we need here is simplicity. And what we especially need is understanding, what is the core bottleneck in the business right now? What is throttling our growth? What I want to ask you is, how consistently are you aware of your number one bottleneck as a business? Is it, not at all? Is it, occasionally? Or is it like all the friggin' time? Our entire team knows what this bottleneck is. Everybody can recite it. So where do you stack up on this scale today? And once you have that locked and loaded, the second component of this is all about, do you actually have an effective growth process for your business? Because to unlock predictable growth in your business, you must have consistent experiments every single week to tackle those key bottlenecks. And when you do that, you'll start to notice you're growing faster every single week. Then the last step here is all about building an elite team for your business. Now, there's a reason this one's last, and it's really because in a product-led company, the first 8 components, if you've gone through them, you can solve the majority of your business issues with the product, not your team. And so you can keep this one last. And when you do experiments, you realize, let's say, for instance, our core bottleneck is that we don't have enough signups. Great. You can run an experiment, let's say on Facebook ads, see if that works. Let's say it does. And you're like, oh my goodness, we got to double down on that. Then, yes, sure, it could be hiring a Facebook ad specialist at that given point, but you're saving that for the last, and you're using human capital as the last thing in this process. And that is what actually gives you leverage and will help you maintain that lean scale and high revenue per employee for your business. So now that we've gone through the 9 components of the product-led system, my question to you is, where do you need to focus? Where do you need to gain the most leverage in your business? The next step is, I want you to take the product-led assessment. Now, we created this assessment to actually score you on those 9 core components. So go ahead, take the product-led assessment, and in the next section, we'll go through what are the next steps and how do you actually implement this inside your business.